how we're consistently finding deals and closing deals. We're closing an average of anywhere from 3 to 5 deals a month. Even in this economy, we're doing mainly novations. We have something like 8 novation properties. Let me get the mic closer, make sure we get some good audio. Um, we got something like 8 novations on the market right now. Um, we have we've got a flip going, some commercial deals, so a little bit of everything, guys. This is what I'm going to be talking about today and sharing with you guys. But I don't want to be here talking about myself, so if you guys don't mind, drop something. I see some of my team here. Bob, Allah, Sayad, thank you for joining on. Today I'm going to be going over a seller call. It's pretty lengthy. It's an hour and 20 minutes long, but I'm going to skip through it and I'm going to just kind of find the best parts of the call, hopefully, and then just basically break down the call, break down the sales tactics that I did, so that you guys can get a little bit of insights into what it takes to close a real estate transaction. So if you guys think that's going to be valuable, please drop something in the chat. Again, Mustafa, Eamon, Tommy Stewart, thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to get started right away. My name's Jose Llanas. I've been doing real estate for the last 5 years now. I started in oil and gas. I was traveling all across the country and I was tired. And I said, man, there's got to be something better, right? So I went out, I started reading books, reading podcasts. And before you knew it, I had done my first deal. It took me 8 months to find my first deal. So a lot of the times, if you're starting off, you think that, oh, I'm going to go out and just like make a few phone calls and I'm going to be able to find a deal. It doesn't happen that way, guys. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of grit. But rest assured, man, you can make a lot of money in this business. If you just stay with it, if you're consistent, if you're working your ass off, you can make a crap ton of money. But again, all it takes is just a lot of banging on some doors, knocking out calls on the phone, and eventually you'll be able to find a deal. So that's a little bit about me. I got tired of oil and gas, and I said, you know what? Something's got to be done differently. I need to go out there and do something better, and I did. I started marketing in around 2018. Believe it or not, there was a big hurricane that happened at the time, Hurricane Harvey, and I went out there. I targeted all the areas with direct mail, all the areas that had flooded, and thank God I was able to find a deal that way. So I feel like at some point when your back is against the wall, you find a way to be able to produce what you have to produce for your family, right? And at the end of the day, you need to remember why you do everything that you do. This business is mostly mindset. So I highly believe that you need to first, before you even start in this business, realize why you're doing it, who you're doing it for. Because if you're doing it for yourself, you're gonna quit really easily, man. When times get tough, you're gonna quit and you're gonna say, you know what, it's not worth it, it's not for me, blah blah blah. But if you're doing it for someone else, if you're doing it for your mom, if you're doing it for your kids, if you're doing it for your spouse, it doesn't matter who you're doing it for. But when you're doing it for someone else, you're called to a higher level of servitude. And when you're in this mind frame of having success for someone else, you will stop at nothing to get a deal done. And that's what happened to me. I did it for my daughter. My daughter is 10 years old now. So I knew that I had to be the man that she deserves me to be. So I went out there and I crushed it and I found my first deal, and I haven't stopped ever since. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be breaking down a seller call. And then I have 2 calls that I have pulled up. I have a bunch of other ones, but this is just real quick, just to share with you guys a little bit of the sales process and how it all works. Hopefully this is valuable. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. There's a Q&A also. You guys can drop it in the Q&A. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Sayad just got an offer for one of the Novation deals. Let's go. Nice, man. Good job. So by the way, I know some other people are in here, but my team, I invite them on so that they can learn at the same time. And Sayad here, he's one of the best disposition agents in all of the nation, okay? In all of the world. So he's out there. He just got an offer for one of our Novation deals. Bob, yes, let's go. Congrats. Thank you, Mustafa. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen. Let me go ahead and pull up what I have to pull up here. And then we will get started. Okay, Kenneth Gibson. We're going to start off with Kenneth Gibson, guys. I'm going to share my screen and maybe I can just share the QuickTime Player. Learn from the best. Yes, sir. Let's see. And guys, can you guys just let me know if you guys can see this, because I'm not able to see very much. Let me open up my chat here. Are you guys able to? Okay, you guys can see it. Okay, can you guys hear it? I'm gonna play it real quick.
One Circle Drive.
Yep. Can you guys hear? Give me a thumbs up. Yes. Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and break it down. I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it and then just break down exactly what just happened. I want you guys to understand sales process, because whenever you're doing any sort of negotiation, I believe there should be preparation, right? You should have a goal in mind with what should happen at the end of the call. You should know what the objective is, and then you should have a methodology of getting from point A to point B, right? Point A being the start of the call, point B being them signing a contract with you. So I'm an engineer by trade. I graduated as an electrical engineer, and so my brain works in a very systematic way. So even in a conversation, I'd like to have some sort of format of how things happen. So what does the beginning of the call look like, and then what does the end of the call look like? How do I go from here to here? How do I get them there? And it's all about asking great questions. Okay, so I'm gonna play the call. If you guys have questions during the call, feel free to drop them in the chat, drop them in the Q&A, and I'll be very happy to answer any questions you guys have. So let's go ahead and get started.
Hello?
Hey, Kenneth, how you doing?
Okay.
Good. This is Josue Llanas. Did I catch you at a bad time?
No?
Okay, good. I'm calling because you had talked to one of my team members. I think you talked to Freddie. He had talked to you about your property there in Bay City, 1901 Circle Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that you guys talked a little bit and you were interested in selling your property. I wanted to follow up because I'm not sure if maybe he just never got a hold of you, or see if there's anything missing. I think you were asking about 170,000 for the property, correct? Okay, cool. So whatever happened with Freddie? Didn't feel comfortable with selling the property to him?
I never got a call back.
Oh, you never got a call back?
No.
So a lot of the times, I want to pause it right here. It's so important whenever I think I read the notes on it, and I read something and I knew that the person was motivated. So I knew that I had to follow up. And sometimes literally all that you need to do is follow up. So I can't stress enough the importance of following up with leads, because you'll never know when you follow up with someone that's going to be your next deal. So with this person, this is a warm lead. Guys, if you guys need warm leads into your CRM, by the way, check out vancom.io. They do all cold calling for you. They basically, you just give them a list, they skip trace it, upload it to a dialer, about I don't know, 3,000, 5,000 a day, find you 1 to 3 leads every single day. So this is one of them, right? It came directly from Vancom. So it's a cold calling provider, VA providers, and someone had already talked to them. They did all the hard work of putting that person in front of me so that I could go in and negotiate and get the deal. So this is what happened here. Someone talked to them, they didn't follow up. So here I'm coming in and being the fresh new face to lock up the deal.
Oh, got it. Okay, cool, cool. Cool. Well, is now a bad time to talk, Kenneth?
No?
So right here, I want you guys to make a note. I always ask, is now a bad time to talk? As human beings, we like saying no more than we like saying yes. So it's easier for us as human beings. Anytime anyone asks us something, like our first reaction, we want to protect ourselves. We want to protect our time. We want to protect our energy. So as human beings, we want to say, no, 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 get away, right? You know, you're walking down the street, you see some stranger, you're like, no, right? So I'm calling this guy out of the blue and I'm saying, hey, is now a bad time to talk? Most people are going to be like, no, but it's not a bad time to talk. So so it is a good time to talk. So in a sense, it's reverse psychology, and they're really saying yes, but they're getting to say no. So now the barrier starts coming down from the very beginning. We're taking off all the resistance, and throughout the call, I like to do this a lot. So instead of getting people to say yes, I like to get them to say no. Whenever I'm negotiating, it's the same way. I want them to say no to my offer first, because if they ever say yes to my offer, then I know that I offered too much. I know that I left some money on the table. And you want some sort of resistance whenever you're talking about numbers, because that's how you can really move forward in a negotiation, is when you come to an agreement on price. But you can't come to an agreement if they agree with you right off the bat, because they're going to feel like they left some money on the table, and you don't want to make them feel that way.
Okay, good stuff. So, my name's Josue. I'm one of the members here, one of the partners in Texas Homes REI, and we flip about 5 to 10 properties a month. Normally, whenever I talk to someone, I like to ask them a couple questions about the property, about you, how fast we need to close, stuff like that. And then at the end of this call, I can make you an offer. And I have different offers. I can make you like an all cash offer where I can close in as little as 30 days, or if our price is not within a certain threshold that is beneficial for you, we can offer you more, but we just need to extend out the closing date.
So right here at the beginning of every call, I do something called setting the stage. So setting the stage means I give them a timeline. I give them the agenda. Right here, I'm going over the agenda, and normally I give them an acceptable outcome. So at the end of the, basically at the end of the beginning, I say, and I can close very quickly. I can close in 30 days, or if not, if you don't want to sell me your property, no big deal. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And I give them an option to say no. I give them an option to not have to take my offer, so I can ease off all of that sales pressure. If you've ever been to like a car dealership, you go and you feel like a lot of pressure because they're coming up to you. Hey, do you want to test drive? Hey, do you want to apply? Blah, blah, blah. But if the car salesman approaches you and says, hey, feel free to walk around. If you need anything, let me know. I can take you on a test drive, but if you don't want to, no big deal. That would make me feel a lot more comfortable, and it makes the sellers feel a lot more comfortable also when you just give them an opportunity to say no.
To figure out a different exit strategy. So, yeah, and by the way, if I make an offer you don't like it, not a big deal. You could always feel free to say no. It's not going to hurt my feelings.
Relieving
We make
sales
a lot of
pressure.
offers on a daily basis. How does that sound?
Oh, fine.
Cool. Okay. So, let me look up your property here. It's 1901 Circle Drive. Have you been thinking about selling your property for a while, Kenneth?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, what have you done so far about trying to sell it up to this point?
So these are called pain questions. So I follow the format of a book called Spin Selling by Neil Rackham. And basically it's 4 questions. It's situation, pain, implication, and need payoff. So right here, I'm going right into pain because I'm really good at building rapport. So I can build rapport even while I'm asking for someone with that maybe I'm asking them about pain questions. I can still build rapport throughout that process. And I don't even have to waste any time about the property. When you're talking to homeowners, the format that you should have or the mindset that you should have is that you're looking to solve an issue for them. You're looking to solve a problem for them. The reason why they're talking to you is because they don't know how to solve the problems that they have. Why would they be selling it to you if they could probably list it on on the market? Why would they sell it to you if they could talk to a realtor? There's plenty of realtors out there, but we still do a ton of business. Why do we do a ton of business? Because we're solving issues that maybe realtors can't solve. We're solving issues that other people can't solve. And at the end of the day, we are the saving grace for these people, for these sellers. So it is our job and our duty to go out there, talk to them, educate them, give them all of the different options that they have, and then we let them decide what is best for them. Once they decide what's best for them, then we can do a deal, we can do a transaction, and then we can come together on the price. If you figure out someone's problem, price will never be an issue. But first, you need to understand exactly what their problem is, so you can know exactly how to solve their problem. So let's continue.
Well, actually, I've just been trying to sort through stuff, throw stuff away. I mean, I've been living there since about 25 years.
Oh wow,
So
nice.
you can imagine the accumulation through my first marriage, and my daughter is still living there. So, but she knows that the property will be sold someday, and she'll have to go somewhere else.
Okay, cool, cool. So so it's mainly just you and your daughter that's living there right now.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Have you have you talked to like a realtor or anything like that to list your house, or like what have you done about that
I
so
never,
far?
I never reached that stage.
Oh, okay, okay. Is there anything holding you back from selling your property now?
So right now, that question right there, is there anything holding you back? I classify that like finding any deal killers because you can go through an entire conversation talking to people, and then you go and you negotiate, you do all this work, you spend an hour on a call, and then before you know it, they can't sell because they have a daughter that lives there, and they don't want to sell it because the daughter is a deal killer, right? So it's so important to ask these questions up front. That way, you know if there's going to be any sort of resistance to actually closing on the property. Make sure that on a call, on your script, on your process, you ask that question more on the front of the call, just to see if there's going to be any sort of resistance, just to see that you don't waste your time either. Okay, so something else to note is always ask, is there anything holding them back from selling, or is there anything or anyone that may prevent them from selling their property? I think that's the right question to add to your script.
I just have to find some place to take all the stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So that's another thing that we do, Kenneth. We in special situations, depending on what we have to do, we sometimes arrange for people to come here, you have to clean property, packing up all your stuff. Um, I can arrange to have all your stuff be moved. I mean, we provide just a full, complete service to make the process of you selling your home, the easiest that it's ever been, or more than you could ever imagine. So my biggest goal always is to make the process seamless and painless, basically. I know moving can be a pretty daunting task, and that's not even including a different level of like having to worry about selling your house and then going and finding a new place. You know what I mean?
So this is a deal that we actually got under contract, and then we found a buyer and we sold it. I think maybe the wholesale fee on this was maybe 12,000 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But what I want to note here is it's not even 5 minutes into the conversation, and I've already asked pain questions. I've already found his pain, and I'm already offering him a solution within 5 minutes. So it doesn't have to be that you follow you need to find all of the pain questions and then go in and give them all of the solutions to their pain. No, it's more of finding pain, give them a solution. Find pain, give a solution. Find pain, give a solution. And you can do that throughout the call. And the more problems you can solve, the better of a price you're going to get with the seller, because now they're seeing all of the value that you can give them. Now, price is not going to be an issue, because all of the problems that you're solving is worth the price reduction that you're going to ask from them at the end, because now it's a white glove service for them, right? Now they appreciate you. Now they feel entitled to give you a better price. So something to keep in mind is don't wait to find the problems, find the pain, and then don't wait to give them the solution right away. Conversation should flow naturally, but you could ask all four spin selling formats within the first 5 minutes, like I did here.
Do you already know where you're going to go after you sell this property?
So that's another question to find out where they're going to go. For motivation, it's all about finding where they're at right now and where they want to go. So if someone has some sort of pain, you need to figure out what kind of pain they have so that you can solve it. But then you also need to find out where they want to go, right? The difference between where they are right now and where they want to go is, and the gap between that is how much motivation there is. The bigger the motivation, the bigger price you're going to get also. So just keep that in mind when you're negotiating. Find out where they're at right now and the pain and how that feels, and then find out where they want to go and what that's going to feel like. Because the bigger of the gap you can make it seem like in their mind, the more willing they're going to be to give you a price reduction.
Well, right now I'm in a travel trailer.
You what now?
I said right now I'm in the travel trailer. I'm kind of between travel trailer and the house.
Oh, okay. But your daughter lives in there?
Yeah, my daughter's at the house, yes.
Okay, nice. Does she have a family, or does she just live alone?
She lives alone. She's handicapped. She's in a wheelchair.
Okay, got it. So she's in a wheelchair. Do you already have a place for her to go to after this?
No.
Okay. What are your plans about getting her like she's gonna?
Oh, what? You're breaking up. Hello?
Give me one quick second, Kenneth.
Sure.
So all of these questions are designed to figure out if it's going to be a deal or not, right? So I'm qualifying it a lot. So I'm asking questions to see if there's going to be any sort of deal killer. $17K was the assignment fee on this one. Nice. I've forgotten, but it's a good one then.
Sure. Have you explored any options for her to?
So now I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to skip through it. I don't want to waste too much time like going through all the little minor details of what it's going to take to move forward. But I really want to find the questions that I asked that drove the conversation into being able to negotiate the price further. I think the ARV on this one was around 250 or 270. So even at 175, it kind of already seemed like a deal. But then what I noticed is that the property is around 2,600 square feet. So it's a big ass property. So it's going to need a big rehab. Even at at $10 a square foot is going to be 26,000, right? So at 20, it's going to be like 52,000. So I knew that it was going to be a big rehab. So I knew that I needed to get it a lot cheaper, because the person that I'm going to sell it to is only going to be able to maybe pay 160, maybe 170, more or less. So I knew my range that I was going to be able to sell it to was 150 to 170. He's asking 175. So now I know that I need to get it cheaper than 150 minimum to be able to do a deal, right? And these are the numbers that I ran right away throughout the call. Normally, whenever I'm talking to a seller, what I do is that I start running the comps. I look at where the top of the market is at, and then I start figuring out a mental image of what the house looks like so I can figure out what the repair estimate is going to be. And then I subtract all the numbers, I throw it in the calculator, and I make them an offer. So that's essentially what I'm doing sometimes when I'm asking questions, or even when I say like something like hold on, maybe I'm like looking at something in the market. So don't feel like you have to like stay on track with everything during a phone call. You can put them on a little brief pause so you can run some comps and underwrite the deal, and make sure you make the right offer. There's nothing worse than making the wrong offer, because then you have to come back and try to explain how you were wrong on your numbers. So it's better to just take your time, understand the property, understand the ARV, understand the repairs, and then make them an appropriate offer.
To help her out, get like a
I would have to get a loan to get the house roofed. It's not in very good condition. I mean, it needs a new roofing, and
So you're
it
asking.
has some leaks. So it's
So now I'm asking about the house, right? Typically, people ask about the house first. I like to just figure out what is your issue, how can I solve it, and then is this going to be a deal by asking like the deal killer questions, like what's stopping you, right? And then now I'm going into the actual house and the condition of it.
some sheetrock damage, ceiling sheetrock damage in the house, and plus of all my call it.
nice. Okay, good. So you have some good plans already.
Huh?
We'll just leave a lot of stuff behind, and I want to make the process easy, so I just say, hey Kenneth, whatever you don't want, leave it behind. Don't worry about a thing. We're gonna have some dump trailers out there on the day that we close, and we're just gonna throw everything away, and you know, want to make this process super painless for you.
Right.
Okay. So you're living in a travel trailer, right? You staying there in Bay City also, or are you kind of just traveling around the states?
Well, I kind of have a unique situation.
So this is all situation questions. I want to understand where he's at to further understand what kind of pain I can find that he's in, what kind of problems that he has. So part of asking situation questions is to so that it can lead you over to the pain questions. The reason that you ask the pain questions is so it can lead you over to implication questions. And by the way, implication questions are questions that make the problem bigger. It makes it real. It makes it so that they feel that pain. Those are the kind of implication questions. Questions like, what's going to happen if you don't make any change? What's going to happen if you don't do anything differently today? Right? Those kind of questions now make their situation real so that they can feel the pain that they're in. Because a lot of times people are numb, people are drifting, and it's your job to get them into their body, into their emotions, so that they can wake up and make a decision. So you do that by asking all these questions right here. And then the fourth question is the need payoff, right? So I was saying situation leads to pain, pain leads to implication, implication leads to need payoff.
I remarried 15 years ago. Trailer park, not trailer park.
Be with your current wife, and
So he was married, he got divorced, and then he's got a new wife, and then the new wife stays at they're at a travel trailer in a trailer park somewhere.
be able to live somewhere out in Kima or something like that.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds good. I think that's an excellent plan. And I think I can definitely help you out with finding some self storage out there. I have some great movers. I have people that I have some ladies that pack up all your stuff. So
And this is right here offering bonuses, right? These are the extra services that I can provide you. Some more need payoff, more things that I'm adding to add myself as the solution to the problem. This is what I can do for you. You have a big house, you have a lot of stuff. That's where you haven't sold. Okay, well, I have people that can come out. They can help you pack. They can help you throw away stuff. I can get you a dumpster. I can get you movers. These are all the solutions now that I'm adding to him for the problem that he has.
I can help you out with that too. It's a property that's on the market that's probably going to sell for, well, I'm sorry, for 200. And then on as far as where you're going, I'm guessing that after you sell the property, you're probably going to go and be with your current wife and be able to live somewhere out in Kima or something like that.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds good. I think that's an excellent plan. And I think I can definitely help you out with finding some self-storage out there. I have some great movers. I have people that I have some ladies that pack up all your stuff, so I can help you out with that too. Um, yeah, when I say that I make everything simple, I truly do mean that. Um, okay, cool. So then, I'm looking around at some of the properties that I've sold there in the area. And there's like a huge range. On the top end, there's some that sell for over 200, and then on the bottom range, whenever there's a property that's sold there, are you familiar with 7th Street, right around the corner from there?
Yeah.
So 7th Street, right across 35, there's a property that's on the market that's probably going to sell for 120,000. But it looks like that property does need some work.
Is that
So what I like to do while I'm already asking question is finding properties on the market that are priced at a low amount so that I see this as a form of like soft negotiating. So what I'm doing right now, this is called price anchoring. I'm looking literally on the market. I found a property that maybe was sold for 120. Sometimes obviously you need to look at the market and find out what is convenient for you to negotiate. Obviously, you as an investor, you need to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success, setting yourself up to win, because if you don't offer the right amounts, you're not going to be able to solve their problems. You're not going to be able to have a deal. You're not going to be able to put food on your table. So it's important that it's a win-win transaction. And it all starts with looking at the data and given the data that is going to help you in the negotiation in order to win and get the property under contract. Right. Now, there was a property that was sold for 120, and let's see what happens
7th
next.
Street or the other side of 7th Street?
It's on the other side of it's right on 7th Street actually.
Is it Nancy Drive address?
I'm sorry?
Nancy Drive address. Do you have the address?
It's 910 7th Street.
Oh, okay.
910 7th Street.
I'm not sure. I just had a friend sell a house right around where you're talking about. I don't know what he got for it, so.
Okay, okay. Well, listen, Kenneth, if I can make the process just super simple for you and you don't have to worry about a thing, no repairs, what would be the best price that you could help me out with?
Well,
So
we'd have to, like I said,
I make a very soft offer, right? I make the soft offer. I mentioned a comp that was on the market. And then the next thing is that I asked for a number, right? Right after I gave them a price anchor. So now the negotiation starts, but I didn't directly told them that I was going to give them 120, right? What I did was, hey, this other property sold for 120. So what's the best price that you can get for me? You're asking 175, and that's great, but there's a property that sold for 120. So what's the best number that you can get that you can do for me?
add up. I know I expect to pay for a roof. I don't want to pay for everything. We need to have some kind of compromise there.
Sure.
I don't know. I can't just really throw a figure out to you.
What would you say would be something that you need for you to be comfortable with saying, you know what, based on what I feel like is a reasonable amount based on the current condition of the house, what would be something that you'd say, okay, you know what, I feel comfortable with this number, let's move forward?
If you want that number, I would say at least 150.
At least 150?
So just by mentioning a comp that was on the market and by asking 2 times what price he's at, he negotiated himself down from 175 to 150. So this is the power of just reframing certain questions, like what's the best price you can give me? And then he didn't want to give me a price, but then I reframed the question. I asked the same thing, what's your price? But I asked it in a different way. And just by asking it a little bit differently, he gave in and he dropped $25,000 in 20 minutes. Right now we're at 1942. So within 1942, he's dropping already $25,000. So I know that's not his number. I know that we can still drop it lower, because at 150, it still doesn't make sense. I know that when I try to go out and push it, I know I'm not going to be able to sell it. So I already know that I need to get it at a better price. So I'm not going to stop now, especially if I'm at 20 minutes. I know that I can do more, and I know that I can lock it up for a better price. So let's see what number I end up getting it at.
And that would take into account, a re-roofing job, so forth.
Okay. Let's see. I'll have to run it through my underwriting team and see what exactly it'll be. Let me ask you this, Kenneth. If I never want to take a property to my underwriting team. They're the ones that look at all the numbers and basically approve every offer that we send out.
So there's another a huge golden nugget that I can give you guys. Anytime you're talking to someone, you never want to you're negotiating. You don't want to be the person in the negotiation. You don't want to be the person that has the final decision. You always want to have a boss. You always want to have a partner. You always want to have a underwriting team. It doesn't matter what you say. You could say what feels more comfortable with you at the stage that you're at in your journey, but you want to say someone else, so that the person that's making the decision on the numbers, you can make that person into a bad guy. You can make the market into the bad guy. And now you are on their side, because the worst place you can be at in a negotiation is across the table from them. What happens when you're across the table from someone is that there's too much friction. There's too much abrasiveness, and now you're not able to move forward. What you have to do is reframe it so that there's someone else out there that's truly controlling the numbers, and you're on this side of the table with them. So instead of being like this, now you're side by side, and now you can work together against a common enemy, against a common foe, right? Because now they can see you as a friend, as an ally, and now they're more likely to talk to you and give you their true numbers and negotiate and get to the price point that you need to be at to be able to do the deal.
I never want to go to them unless you're ready to move forward.
This question is all about finding if they're truly ready to move forward or not. So by making it seem like, okay, I have to take this to this underwriting team and they're going to look at the numbers and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to waste your time unless you are ready to move forward. So are you ready to move forward? Yes or no, Mr. Seller? Yes. Okay, fine. Then now I know that they are ready to sign a contract, right? And I want to get all of these things out of the way as soon as possible, so that I'm not wasting my time throughout the conversation. Because the worst feeling that I could get is spending an hour talking to someone that isn't even ready to sell, that maybe has a situation that's going to prevent them from selling. So I want to cut that off right from the start, so that I don't waste my time, right? The most valuable asset that we have is time. And so that's the thing that you have to protect the most.
Is there anything that would hold you back from starting a process with a title company? And by the way, that doesn't mean that we're going to close tomorrow. That just means that we would do something that's called opening title. Excuse me. We would do something that's called opening title. And the title company would start the process of looking at who you are. They'll get all of your personal information, your driver's license, pretty much everything, so that they can ensure that you're the owner of the property currently. The next step would be to have like inspectors, appraisals, contracts.
All of this is education, right? A lot of people don't understand what a real estate transaction looks like. They don't understand how a transaction actually unfolds. So you need to get them already mentally prepared to go through the process with you by educating them, by showing them what the next steps are going to be, right? are you ready to start the process with the title company? And by the way, that doesn't mean that you're going to sell it. That means that we have to look you up. We have to do all of our process, our due diligence, blah, 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 blah. You give them all of the next steps up front. That way they're not thinking, that way you don't create any resistance on the back end once you actually lock up the deal, right? And also to further qualify them. Again, it's all about figuring out if this person's ready or not. I'm talking on the phone and I'm wondering, are you wasting my time? Yes or no? The whole time, I would rather not talk to someone. I'd rather hang up the phone if I know that that person's not ready, because I want to protect my time again, right? So it's all about qualifying, right? I like to think about it as disqualifying. I disqualify more than I qualify, because I like to think that I have a great product and a service that I can provide for people. And if they're not the right fit, then I'm wasting your time and I'm wasting mine. Let's move on to someone else that's actually going to benefit from this. And by the way, guys, real quick, want to just make a quick announcement. I'm already doing a small mastermind. I have a couple of people already signed up. I'm doing it every other week. Okay. And it's a small group setting. So it's a small group mastermind, small group coaching. I'm taking you guys from no deals to getting your first deal to consistently getting your deals, teaching you guys how to build a business, how to hire your first hire, how to create systems, how to create processes, how to consistently lock up deals with a team. And all of this is going to be done for a very ridiculous price. There's people out there charging tens of thousands of dollars for coaching. I've been there before. I've gone to them, but now it's my time to give back, and I want to do it at a super affordable price. For the price less than a cup of coffee a day, which is less than $6 a day. It's actually like $3 and some change. It's $100 a month, and you guys can come on. You can ask any questions. You can join the community. And then you can get some coaching, and hoping to elevate you guys to getting your first deal and to getting more deals and to building a business. So if that resonates with you guys, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. So let's continue here.
All that stuff, go out there, look at the property, and then we can expect to have a closing, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, however much time we need to close on the property. And then let's say it's in 30, 40 days. On that date, then you would actually go into the title company, sign the documents, and complete the closing and get a wire. Let me ask you this, Kenneth. What would be, if we were to close, what would you prefer, a cashier's check hand delivered to you via FedEx, or would you prefer a wire directly into your bank account?
I have no idea which one would be best.
Well, the wire is the easiest. You just need to get your wire routing number from your bank, and then your account number, and you present that to the title company. On the day of closing, you would sign the documents that basically is selling the property to me, and then I would sign the documents that's basically buying the property from you, and then we both give those documents to the title company, and then I wire in the full amount to the title company. They disperse any sort of expenses. Obviously, normally you have to pay, for example, your taxes. There's two things that are guaranteed in life, and that's death and taxes. You can't get away from those two things. So obviously you pay your.
So here I like to ask, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a cashier's check or a wire to your bank account? I want them already visually seeing the money in their bank account. When a seller is committed to seeing that money in their bank account, they're much more willing to talk about the property, show you the property, let you do your process, negotiate a fair price. It's important to get them already visually there, right? And you do this by injecting all of these things to the seller so that they can already see them selling the property to you, right? I say things all the time during a conversation. I say, hey, when I buy your property, what's going to happen, right? So it's called an assumptive close. I'm already assuming that I'm going to buy their property, because I'm assuming that I'm the best option for them. And if you guys don't go out there with this same level of confidence, then how can you expect the seller to have confidence in you to lock up a deal? So each one of you guys needs to have this sense of confidence and knowing that you are the best solution for this person. this person that you're on the phone with, you are the best person on this entire planet. There's no one that can do what you can do. There's no one that is willing to go out and do whatever it takes to make sure that this deal goes through the finish line. So whenever you negotiate with this mindset, things happen and you're just in the zone. And I think like Kobe Bryant talks about being in the state of flow in the court, right? I feel the same way whenever you're talking to a seller. You got to get in a state of flow, and you got to get in a state of knowing that you're the right person for that individual, and you're going to negotiate with a lot more intent, and with a lot more wittiness, saying the right things when you need to say them so that the seller feels comfortable and sells you their property.
Taxes, and then the rest would be dispersed directly into your bank account. Does that make sense?
Pay taxes on what?
Property taxes. So let's get you an all cash offer
All the time, so it don't get the care that it always needs, especially on the inside.
Sure.
For it to be clean.
And by the way, I'm running out of time here, so I'm gonna just skip through it real quick, see if I can find any more golden nuggets, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end here in the next 10 minutes. So let's run through it.
All that. My daughter actually.
Sure.
I don't want that to devalue the property, and that's basically the reason I hadn't had anybody do any walkthroughs yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
that or not?
I'm sorry.
Where are you at anyway?
My office is right here off of 290.
What we use as an office area, we called it that, which has carpet in it also.
Got it. So okay. So basically the original, and then like it. How's the kitchen? Do you have like? Okay. April 28th. And even then, once we get closer to that date, Kenneth, if for whatever reason you feel like you need any more time, we could always extend the closing date out. If you feel like you need less time, we can close faster.
So again, I'm already making the assumption that I've already got the sell. I'm already making the assumption that I'm going to buy that person's property.
That's one of the benefits of working. Go look us up. Feel free to check us out on our website.
Social proof is so important in this business, and it's something that gets taken not taken very seriously. So having a website, having a company website, having an Instagram that looks great, having a LinkedIn that looks great, it's all very important. So you can share these links with the seller, right? Sometimes people want to know that they're doing business with someone that's real. So you can give them, you can have a profile like LinkedIn where you put in there on your LinkedIn, like professional property solutions maker or something, make up a fancy title. And then you can share that link with people so that they can see you, see your links, see your references. You can add a lot of stuff into LinkedIn, and that's a public profile that you can share with people. Now, you share this with people, they're going to be able to see who you are. You can post photos of other people that you've like sold your property to. So social proof, extremely important. Don't sleep on it. Make sure you implement it into your conversations, and don't be scared to send people your LinkedIn. If you're negotiating with someone, send them your LinkedIn account. Who cares? And make something happen there.
This home's right. Yeah, I'm looking at my website here, and I'm looking at. I don't even have any. I have testimonials, which are like people that have worked with me.
I think it has value.
Right. Yeah. No, back to me. I'll sign it as well. Once I have that document, I will.
Now I'm walking him through what it's going to take to sign a contract with me, right? And I'm doing this within 48 minutes of me talking to him. So this is where it's important to understand that you can really do this in an hour and 20 minutes. You can really, on one single call, get someone to sign a contract with you, right? But again, it's all about finding the solution to their problems, and then it's about giving them confidence that you're going to be able to close.
Would email it over to the title company. Or if you need anyone to help you clean, that'd be actually really good. Either like Monday or Wednesday, clarify anything for you.
I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. Is there any sort of reservation that you have towards that?
So now I'm going over the contract with him, right? Asking him what's really holding you back, right?
What do you mean?
I know you said that at the very beginning of what you just said is that you're concerned that you may have some sort of legal implications. Um, what do you mean by that?
I just don't know what the document means. I mean, I haven't bought and sold that many houses in my life. In fact, this house that we're talking about is my first house I ever owned. So I haven't
Oh,
been
got it.
houses, okay?
You having what now?
I haven't bought and sold a lot of houses.
And it's important to realize too that a lot of people are like this, that they've only bought one house in their lives, and maybe now it's time that they're selling it so they can go buy another one. We do it on a daily basis, so it's important to slow it down right there and to realize that, okay, you need some time to process. It's okay not to get the contract signed right now, because if I would have maybe I remember what happened this, I sent the contract, I gave him a day to sleep on it, I gave him the call the next day, and then he signed it. But it's important not to be too pushy, because if you come across as too pushy, you end up pushing them away. So it's much more important to be relaxed, be calm, be cool, be collected, and then be patient, knowing that they're going to sign the contract the next day. The follow-up just needs to be extremely strong, right?
I just don't know much about it.
Okay. No, and that's completely fair. Okay. Yeah. What's it cost you?
60 a year.
Pretty expensive there. No.
No.
So look, I'm sending you an email. I want in the top it just said, yeah, sure. Well, do you have any questions for me?
11, 12, 1, somewhere around there, middle of the day.
Middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I end the conversation basically understanding where he's at. I missed the part where I renegotiated down. We ended up getting this property under contract for 138,000, I believe. Let's see here. I'm looking at my notes. $138,567 dollars.
Get you on moving in the.
4 minutes. So
Well, the 150 was going to be my bottom number. I will negotiate a little bit past that if it is a small, less than what I've already told you. So
I'm looking at my website here, and I'm looking at. I don't even have any work with me that have done deals with me, but I'm realizing that I don't have any photos of myself. I should probably throw myself on here.
uh,
um, but yeah, so before I go and talk to my underwriting team, Ken, if we can come together on a price that's reasonable for both of us, is there anything that would stop you from moving forward and starting the process with the title company either today, tomorrow, and then we can set the closing date out for April?
yeah, I don't think there would be anything to get in our way. It's just that I'm not going to take much, less than what I've already told you. So because I know I can fix it up and get a lot more.
So he said he's not going to take a lot less than 150, but I know that there's still a little bit of room. So now I know that maybe my next offer, my actual offer, shouldn't come in at 100,000, right? It needs to come in a little bit higher, within a reasonable range.
It's just the getting fixed up part.
Absolute best number that you can give me, Kenneth.
Well, the 150 was going to be my bottom number. I will negotiate a little bit past that if it is a small amount, but like it'll be based on your walkthrough, and I did originally say 175, so that will take that into account for like roof repairs, sheetrock repairs, and so forth.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, and that's very generous of you, Kenneth. I really appreciate you.
Anytime anyone gives you a price reduction, I always like to say that's very generous, because people love feeling generous. So you give them a sense of feel good for dropping their price, even though it benefits you the most. Now it's, hey, that's very generous. You're a generous human being. But when you say that's very generous, it also now gets them a feeling of being even more generous. So now they're more willing to drop the price even more. So remember that it doesn't matter what price point they say, there's always maybe a little bit more that you can get. There's always a tiny, even if it's 5 grand more, 10 grand more. Sometimes that's all the difference that it takes. Sometimes those 5, 10 grand is what it takes to be actually be able to do a deal, right? So always fight for that last 10 grand. Always fight for the last 15 grand, whatever it is, even if it's 2 grand, fight for it, because that's all it would take maybe to do a deal or not.
Telling me that I think it helps me out a lot whenever I go talk to them right now. And so the way I send you a purchase agreement, please document owns your house. But for
So I put him on a brief hold while I went and talked to my underwriting team. Really, I went and underwrote the deal myself.
listen,
138,500.
that your property is probably in better condition than that one. But it's a very similar home, so I understand their perspective as well. Anyway, all that being said, Mr. Kenneth, we can close on April 30th. I can help you out with if you need movers or if you need anyone to help you clean. I have cleaners. I have some very nice Hispanic ladies that can go out there, help you clean out everything. They're professionals. I have people that can help you pack up everything to help you move as well. But all that being said, Mr. Kenneth, they gave me an offer of $138,000 with $567.
And anytime you make an offer, you mute it.
138,567.
You mute it, and the first person that talks loses. That's a negotiation. You make the offer, and then you mute it, and you let them talk. You let them process it.
Yes, sir.
What am I going to have to pay that's out of that 138?
So,
Or
out of that 138, the way that our offers work, Mr. Kenneth, we make all cash offers. So what that means is your offer will probably only be like $500 less for like escrow, maybe about just the amount that is for your taxes for 4 months. I mean, let me do a quick math there. So it's $5,000 for the year divided by 12. It's around $416. So 35 in your pocket on the day of closing, even after paying like the escrow fees and everything, the charges with the title company. They're very small. Whenever you'd like me to, I have an appointment on Saturday. Where are you at right now?
Kima.
Potential, but
So anyways, guys, we run out of time, but that is the call. He ended up agreeing to it, and everything was great. We ended up making a $17,000 assignment contract on it. So I'm gonna take real quick. I'm a little bit over, but I want to see if does anyone have any questions? It can